This wipe, I joined the best clan in Rust on the most competitive server there is, Vital EU2X Monthly. Come with me to see how I use my wire and pipe tools to make our base one of the most formidable in the game. This video, I want to show you how a real Rust electrician progresses a clan setup for 30 plus people on Force Wipe. Be sure to stick around because things get pretty crazy. We plan to build on the far northeast in the snow, next to mill tons, sulfur quarry, launch site, and small oil rig. So my first objective was to trudge through the jungle into the snow. Luckily, after losing this bow fight, my team had already been controlling the supermarket west of Miltons, so they dropped me a bag close by, and I got back on my way. This video is sponsored by Vital Rust. By playing any of the Vital servers, in exchange for active playtime, you will receive keys which you can use on their website, like a CS case, to open and unlock any shop item imaginable. Soon, you can also open crates for epic skins such as Alien Red. Make sure to check them out in the description box below. To start everything off, I decided to get us a little bit more organized in this chaotic start and get everything set up for a small furnace circuit. After I got our furnace circuit set up for use, once we had enough frags to make adapters, it was time to start placing turrets. These were especially important this wipe because we got some valuable intel that we might be getting merge rated by 60 plus players as early as possible, so it was my first priority to make sure that these were up and running. I started by setting us up with one core inline system, separated from the main battery, allowing this to be used with or without the main battery present, all while using a small amount of components and time. Our initial plan was to have a separate furnace compound for smelting, but we underestimated the amount of resources we need to get our main base up. We threw down some large furnaces inside of our main compound walls, and then I placed some turrets to keep the grubs away. After this, I went back into base to help set up our mini open core and cook room.
Sorry guys, that was an accident.
I wanted to get as many batteries down as early as possible in the case of a pummel raid, so I started work on decentralizing our power by placing multiple cores around the base.
Oh no! Oh!
Dude.
Why is it all honeycomb? When does it end?
After setting up our power grid, our first Susu tower was built with a couple of wind turbines on top, so it was time to power all of the batteries up and get them charging. Now that we had decentralized cores around the base, it was time to put turrets on each of them. Now that we have more power coming into base, it was time to place some turrets on the roof so that it would be harder for people to land helis and top down raid us so easily. Then after decentralizing the compound turrets, I decided to run over and help out with the furnace compound.
Till the day was gone, and I sat in regret of all the things I've done, for all that I've blessed and all that I've wronged. In dreams until my death, I will wander
Now that we had our Dropbox system set up, I worked on placing a backup battery for each power circuit down in the basement, separate from both the circuit and the main battery. I also wanted to get us prepped up to move into open core, so I then took the turrets that were previously on the roof and moved them to a spot where they could better defend an early game open core. Right as I started crafting everything to set up open core, the team started gearing up to go do their first raid, so I dropped everything and started prepping.
I push my fingers into my eyes. It's the only thing that slowly stops the ache. But it's made of all the things I have to take. Jesus never ends. It works its way inside. If the pain goes on.
While I was busy trying to push up turrets, the tower we were trying to raid was really well built and had lots of defenders online. So our team ended up calling it off, got out with the leftover rockets and kits, and in the meantime I got back to work in the open core.
Put me back together, or separate the skin from bone. Leave me all the pieces, then you can leave me alone. Tell me the reality is better than the dream, but I found out the hard way.
To further add to the cursed open core setup, before I could get all the conveyors set and connected, I was once again recruited to go join a raid. This time, we were better prepared, and with being my second raid with the team, I had a better idea for the turrets, so I packed my bags and went to go join them.
To my mother, to my father, it's your son, or it's your
Howdy, folks. Please keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the train and remain seated at all times. Now then, hang on to them hats and glasses, because this here's the wildest ride in the wilderness.
I said it locked inside my head, remembering everything you said. The silence gets us nowhere, gets us nowhere, way too fast. Silence is what kills me. I need someone here to help me, but you don't know how to listen and let me make my decision. I sit here locked inside my head, remembering everything you said. The silence gets us nowhere, gets us nowhere, way too fast. Your insults, make me feel like I'm not a person, and I feel like
By the time that I had placed enough turrets to cover our fob and rocketers, they had already finished up and started to secure the loot. So I decided to make myself useful. I was going to spawn back in at main base and get back to the open core.
attention you couldn't give. I sit here locked inside my head, remembering everything you said. The silence gets us nowhere, gets us nowhere, way too fast. I sit here locked inside my head, remembering everything you said. The silence gets us nowhere, gets us nowhere, way too fast.
Once everything was powered up and connected to the same loot tree, I set up some drop boxes in our starter at open core for easy loot deposit. Now that open core and our depot boxes were finished, it was time to get back to turrets. Our roof was pretty much finished at this point, so I started there. After placing roof turrets, I started work on combining all of our 16 turbines into a central power distribution hub. Our builders had already connected the new turbines on root combiners below the platforms, so it made easy work to extend the connections to alleviate any depth concerns. There was lots of thought put into this since I was combining everything into one output, so I made certain that I was doing it as efficiently as possible. I checked the turret battery charge and passing, and since it was good enough for the time being, I decided to keep going with getting our open core turrets up and running, since it's more important to have turrets online than being hyper efficient. Following that same thought process, our team bought some SAM sites to fend off MLRS strikes, so I set up our first BCN for those right away. These BCNs run off of root power first, and battery power if no root power is present. So in the case that someone decided to shoot out our turbines and then try to MLRS strike us, they wouldn't be able to, since the SAM sites would still have power and defend the strike. After putting ammo on the SAM sites, having the basic turrets in our base functional, and with our open core set up, it was nearing 3 AM, so I decided to call it an end for day one. For day two, my goal was to fully finish optimizing the power grid and setting up all of our turrets. Our base was fully built at this point, and one of our teammates set up lights, heaters, and a couple of auto crafters, so I was free to power through on building an unstoppable defense system. I started it off by getting our fast charge batteries crafted and wired up. These would take excess power from the Centralized Power Distribution Hub and optimize the charge rate of a large battery, giving us available batteries for either bringing to raids or in a quick raid defense turnaround situation where our main defense system was down and we needed to hotwire some turrets. To maximize my time, I also started crafting components to update our turret core systems to advanced BCNs, so those would stay passively crafting in the background while I got our fast charge batteries wired up. To follow the same principle as I had this wipe, I prioritize getting power to the turret systems, so getting those branches set up first to give the main and backup batteries time to charge while I worked on the power distribution. What I was setting up for this wipe was a version of a BCN, incorporating more of a Nexus approach that utilizes the fully charged output from the battery to implement sequential charging. So once the first battery in the sequence was fully charged, then it would move to the next, so on and so forth until the last memory cell is swapped. Those batteries are then strategically powered via an OR switch tree to use them first to last within that same sequence. One fully charged large battery at max output, which we were well below, can last 4 hours. So with this setup, and having 5 batteries per BCN sequence, we'd have 20 hours of stored power, assuming our turbines are destroyed. But one of my intentions with this video is to show a perspective of the effort that can be required for a good and secure circuit. I did the best I could to edit out any downtime now that we're getting into the complex circuits, but if you want, you can skip ahead using the timestamps I put below at the bottom of the description. It can get pretty lengthy because this big of a base requires multiple circuits to maintain both proper performance and circuit security. In this instance, I split the base into 4 sections, and per side made a BCN and some cool circuits you'll be able to see later on. If you want to know more about these circuits, be sure to subscribe to my channel and consider subscribing to my Patreon, where I'll be uploading these periodically throughout the next few months. Once I had the power grid set up and ready for expansion, I crafted some more batteries to add to the backup sequence and turrets for the China wall to make sure that I pulled my weight. After getting inner China wall turrets down, I threw some down on the shooting floor and put the open core turrets as backups via the splitter method. This method can be used on vanilla and lightly modded servers that still employ the turret limit. In this instance, I was using them in order of importance to assign them priority so that the shooting floor turrets would be on primarily and the open core turrets would come on once the shooting floor turrets are destroyed. Wanting a break from turrets, I headed over to the furnace compound to see what Sin had been cooking up, with his igniter circuit.
I've been defeated and brought down. Oh, dropped to my knees when hope ran out.
After that break, with our BCNs fully set up for expansion, I connected the existing batteries and worked on placing more for each circuit and upgraded our battery compartments for some additional circuit health.
On this day, I see clearly everything has come to life. Been a place and a broken dream, and we'll leave it all behind. I'll never long for what might have been. No, regret won't waste my life again. Oh, I won't look back, I'll fight to remain. On this day, I see clearly everything has come to life. A better place in a broken dream, and we'll leave it all behind. On this day, it's so real to me. Everything has come to life. Another chance to chase a dream, another chance to feel On this day, I see clearly everything has come to life. A better place in a broken dream, and we'll leave it all behind. On this day, it's so real to me. Everything has come to life. Another chance to chase a dream, another chance to feel
Since we were planning on being out raiding a lot more, I wanted to get some seismic sensors set up around the base just for some extra security. I worked on setting up a main alarm system in our starter core that had 2 different smart alarm RF receiver combos for both tier 2 and tier 3 explosives, and then supporting seismic sensor alert systems around the base that could support the 2 frequencies for each different explosive tier. I then got to work on the auxiliary seismic sensor setups on each side of the base. These can broadcast both Tier 2 and Tier 3 explosive signals separately from each other, and each broadcaster corresponds to the RF frequency on the receivers that I set up in the starter core.
Change
you sold to fool the world. You lost your self-esteem along the way. Yeah!
Good God, you're coming up with reasons. Good God, you're dragging it out. Good God, it's the
We ended up having to do a hot fix to our sorting system and downsize the amount of buffer boxes we had due to both server performance and encroaching the depth limit, and there's too much loot going through them for the server I/O to handle, hence our sorting system conveyors were going into restricted mode. To alleviate this, I implemented a buffer shuffler, which takes a split out of the last buffer box and sends it back into the beginning of the buffer box sequence, therefore keeping loot constantly moving instead of being stagnant in limbo waiting to be moved and putting the conveyors into restricted mode. We were getting ready to do the final raid of day 2. This clan wasn't too far from us, had been farming Arctic Research Base and contesting us at mill tons, so we knew it'd be a tough one.
Last night I saw that beauty queen, watched her paint her face on. I wanna be that magazine that she bases life on. I wanna waste her monthly blood, wanna get some on my love, wanna get some gasoline, burn the house down. She's got nothing to say, she's got bills to pay.
As this was only my third raid on this type of scale, my main focus, while learning the flow of how they raid, was to push up turrets to ensure that both the front and back fobs were covered, as well as where our rocketers were at, so that nobody could grab any kits or boom off of us. This raid went super well. The team finishing up pretty quickly, and my goal with it, of pushing turrets the entire time, was complete. Since we didn't live far away, we wanted to set up a loot highway to alleviate the need for multiple transfer runs, since these guys were loaded. So while Sin was out getting the pipeline from the fob to the main base setup, I stayed around the fob and got loot boxes set up. He had originally set up a drop box system from the front fob to the back fob loot boxes, so as I expanded on that, I used the existing super sucker to split the boxes into 3 different groups, and then send those through a row of buffer boxes at the fob, which was then sent to another super sucker in the middle of the loot highway and pushed back into our main base drop box to get dispersed back into our open core. I stayed around the fob a bit longer to make sure we didn't get grief while we were waiting to get the loot sent out, and once all the loot was moving, I threw my kit into the drop box and said goodbye. Once all of our loot was sent back to main base, I started working on our inner China wall turrets. Pang and Uzi worked up a really cool defense technique in this base that you can check out on Pang's YouTube channel. I'll put that link in the bio. And I wanted to throw some toggle turrets in here to make sure we had proper coverage. This was accomplished by the use of RF signals, where one main trigger from our main base via an RF broadcaster would toggle the turrets from our outer compound to the inner China wall via separate RF receiver circuits going into the toggle input on a memory cell to swap between the two turrets. We had one of these circuits on all four sides of our China wall, and with 4 turrets per circuit, it made 16 turrets in total. So I got my wire tool back out and went to work. Once these were done, I started drafting up plans for circuits to implement on day 3. I had plans for a door controller circuit that would activate with both time and raid scenarios, toggleable SAM site logic to ensure no friendly helicopters were targeted, Tesla coil traps, at-the-ready generators for raid defense, a toggleable loot mover, and more. Unfortunately, the map had to be wiped due to another clan on this server reaching the entity limit, so I wasn't able to enact these plans. I do plan to keep iterating these in the future and bring you guys a shorter and more condensed video on all of the circuits that I find useful in a competitive setting, but for now, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Everyone was on their A game for this wipe, and I wish we had gotten the privilege of defending a raid in this beautiful base. I'll close this video out with a base tour, and I hope to see you guys in the next one.